Just how good was that result? Coventry are back. Fantastic evening at the CBS. Just what we needed. Congratulations to Frank Lampard and, of course, Sky Blues. Jay, Tom and Chris were there, and they're here to give their opinions on this week's episode of Where Sky Blues Walk. Thanks for being our company this week. We are back to the top of the league, and who impressed us the most? Lots of individuals to call out, but we're starting, of course, with Onyeka. Is he the missing piece to this puzzle? Is he the reason, actually, why perhaps we've been struggling the last couple of months? Great to have your company. Jay, Tom and Chris are ready to give their opinions on what was a fantastic evening, beating Boro 3-1. Drop us a sub if you haven't yet already done so. Let's get straight into it, shall we then, Jay? First one for you then. Here we go. This was summed up by Luke quite nicely. Absolutely fantastic. Onyeka was that missing piece last a few weeks. Let's go now win this league. First of all, Jay, congratulations. How did that feel to put Boro? I mean, you always take 6 points off Boro, so it's not a new feeling, is it? But that felt a little bit special, I imagine.
Normally, I don't get nervous for games. I'm always very, very confident we're going to win games. But around 5 o'clock on Monday, the old butterflies start tingling in the old stomach and stuff. And when I was sitting down, I had a few little beads of sweat on the old forehead as well. So I was confident we were going to get the win. I don't know why. I had this sort of deep, something deep inside of me thinking we're going to get the win. But it wasn't bad in the end. But on that tweet, Onyeka, I think most people sort of knew that he was the missing piece of what we needed. We needed a big, battling, strong centre midfield player in there. There's obviously talks about Gus Hamer. Love Gus. Would love to have him in the squad. But over him, Onyeka is exactly what we needed. Something that's going to come in, break up play. I thought he really set the tone of the performance in that game. He set the energy, the press, all that sort of stuff, and it really massively helped out Grimes. You can see how Grimes' passing stats weren't as good, but I thought his overall play was phenomenal. Breaking up play, getting tackles in, and sort of stopping Boro from being Boro.
Yeah, it's exactly that on these tweets as well. Chris, if you agree, Covboy in Essex says we look so much better with him in the midfield. He's been immense, and he says what we've been missing. He's a ground coverer, he's an enforcer, and he also frees up Grimes' ball. Brilliant playing ability. Do you agree with all the above?
Yeah. Jay's hit the nail on the head. All the tweets I've seen about Onyeka have been really positive. I was a bit worried. I think we were all a bit worried when he got that early yellow card. There's obviously a little bit of recklessness in there with him, but I'm not against that. He seems like a bit of a chaotic player. He puts himself about absolutely everywhere. As Jay said, I think the most important thing that he's going to bring to the team is freeing up Grimes, letting Grimes do what he did for the first 3 or 4 months of the season. Because obviously these last couple of months, Grimes hasn't been the same player. He's been having to drop back too deep. He's not been able to, press defences and get those passes in there like he used to do. Really, really, really impressed with Onyeka. I hope he can sort of, do something about his temper, because he seems a little bit just like a headless chicken. A lot of Brentford fans did say that when the signing first was announced. They said that he's a bit of a headless chicken, but I think that's what we need.
Yeah. I think Brentford's own reaction last night on Twitter was that he's found his level, Tom. That he
that's fine. That's fine.
Wasn't doing much for Brentford, but I mean, fair enough. Some players do, don't they? Absolutely. Nothing wrong with tearing at the Championship. Right, Tom. Of course, everybody in a Sky Blue shirt is absolutely delighted. Of course, for Lampard. Rob says I've been very critical of Lampard last few weeks, but last night he got it absolutely spot on. What a shift in the players too. We look completely different and so much more competitive when you're in our midfield. Superb performance, 10 out of 10. Yes, he's been criticised, Tom, on here as well in recent weeks as FL, but he got that one absolutely bang on, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Lampard got it 100% spot on, which is what I was hoping. Because, like Jay, I was really, really worried going into this one. I was like, it's not a must-win, as they call it, but if we lose, then we're 5 points behind them. It's not looking good. So to get the win was massive. Lampard got it spot on tactically. The players, 100%, I agree. put in a massive shift. It was probably one of my favourite wins all season. I mean, the atmosphere, the fans turned up. The atmosphere was phenomenal. And I really feel like the players owed it for us and Lampard. I'm not saying, what they've done so far this season's been phenomenal, but recently with the performances, I feel like they kind of owe us for it. And, they delivered, and let's just hope we can kick on now, because we've got 2 away games next, which I'm a bit dreading both of them because our records at both grounds aren't great. But if we can kick on and get a bit of a run going, there's only 14 games left. Let's just hope we can do it. But that was a phenomenal game last night. Lampard tactically spot on. So, yeah, very happy.
Are you surprised, Tom, like others are, that, given having watched Middlesbrough play recently, you could be forgiven for going a little bit defensive and playing a bit more cautiously than what he did. But, he went for it straight from the first whistle and didn't really give them much sniff. Were you surprised by that approach?
If it was away, no. But at home, I kind of saw it coming. I feel like at home, we're not going to play defensively because it's not like we want to go for a draw. I think we just wanted to go full out and just go for them. I think we did it really well. I think we absolutely bullied them. Middlesbrough have been bullying teams for weeks now. They've looked probably the best team in the league. Look at them against Sheffield United. They were phenomenal. But they couldn't do really anything against us last night because I just thought we bullied them. And I think that was the best approach to the game, especially at home. The Sky cameras, the big game feeling and the atmosphere, I felt the best approach was that. And I think we did it brilliantly. So I wouldn't say I wasn't surprised. I was fully expecting us to really go for it because I think we all knew how important the game was.
Okay.
You could tell they weren't expecting it.
Absolutely.
No way.
Yeah, Boro definitely weren't expecting that.
Yeah, well, the manager alluded to that afterwards, didn't he, as well? That he didn't quite expect to be quite onslaught and couldn't live with him. Luke Ayling had an absolute nightmare against this fella. Let's talk about him then, Jay, shall we? Monsieur Moore says sensational tonight, and I want to get your point on this one. That is the best I've ever seen him play for Cov City. Do you concur?
Yes. Obviously, people are going to compare the hat-trick to Sunderland last year, which things around to the March time. But I thought he worked his socks off. First half, absolutely brilliant. He battled with 2 top quality centre-backs in this league. Second half, I thought for maybe the first, maybe like 10, maybe 15 minutes of the half, he wasn't quite at that same level. But then he really sort of stepped up thereafter as well. Again, I don't think we should shy away from the criticism that he's got because he really hasn't played fantastically well over the last couple of months, really, since he came back from that international break. Then obviously picked up a knock. Again, all you want your striker to do is battle and work hard. That's a minimum requirement we want as Coventry City fans. Is somebody to be up top, battle, put himself about a little bit, and unfortunately, he wasn't quite doing that. And then on top of that, he wasn't getting goals as well. He started getting a few goals here and there. But yesterday, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I'd say apart from maybe 10, 15 minutes that second half, beginning of the second half, I thought he worked his socks off. He caused Ayling and Melanda problems all night. Melanda's top quality centre-back, by the way. First time I've really seen him play, he looked like a typical Rolls Royce of a centre-back. Haji Wright, all night, gave him problems. All night, hassled him, harried him. On the odd occasion, he sort of broke through. Broke through to stepped it out, but Haji did wonders last night. And I've said it once, and I'm going to say it a million times. That is now the standard that he plays at. That is the standard the team play at for the next 14 games. There's no sort of level behind that. No dropping that standard at all. We know they can do it. They have to do it for the next 14 games.
Good. Chris, I don't know, have you been critical of Haji Wright this season, and what do you put that
down?
Yeah,
just a little bit. Yeah. I'm one of those that Jay sort of alluded to. I've been really critical these last couple of months. It was an incredible performance from Haji, obviously, but I'm gonna reserve judgment or praise of him for another week or two because we've seen this before, where he shows up. Don't know if it's because the TV cameras are there, but he'll show up, put in a great shift, like Sunderland last season, scored that amazing hat-trick, and then we basically didn't see anything of him for the next, 9 or so games, I think it was. And again in the playoffs. So he has these little spells, doesn't he, where he looks like absolute magic, and then he just goes missing for a while. So what he did last night, incredible. Can't fault that at all. But I'm always a bit cautious with Haji.
Let's bring Ben in as well. Welcome, Ben. He's sobered up after last night? It was an enjoyable one, I imagine, for you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed last night. It was good to see us battle and get back on sort of the way we was playing at the start of the season. I thought all round it was. I was talking to Chris after the game on X, and we just agreed it was just like, if you could script last night's performance, that would have been it. We old manned them, we beat them in every area, and we sort of. I've heard a few people say at the start of the season, they found the blueprint to beat Coventry. Well, we found the blueprint to beat Middlesbrough last night because they didn't lay a glove on us, really, did they?
Yeah. I'll put this one up next. I'm pleased this fella's getting some praise as well because he's had a bit of a rough ride over recent weeks as well, Ben. Bobby Thomas was immense. Was that one of his better games this season?
Yeah, for sure. But I've been how long I've been harping on about it on this channel. I mean, it's the midfield. The midfield has made the defence look like idiots constantly. That open the full-backs bomb on. So you've got two centre-backs, and whoever it is going to be damned if you've not got a midfield that's going to protect you. And last night with Onyeka, we had that. We had that with Grimes and Onyeka. They sit in. He got forward as well, but we had that balance where he can just say, right, give it to them, lads. Give it to Sakamoto. Give it to Efron. Give it to Rodoni. Give it to Wright and win us the game. And we sort of stayed in a solid formation where Latty and Thomas were protected. So both centre-backs had a great game. But I do believe that if it was Kitchen there, it would have been the same. I think that the protection from the midfield was there last night.
Yeah. So a couple more, Tom. This one, GP, complete performance from the whole team. Sakamoto was unstoppable in the first half. And I want to ask you on this one, Rodoni looked great. There's a couple of words we haven't seen for a while. Bobby, brilliant at the back. Onyeka looks just what we need. I mean, loads of praise for Onyeka on social media last night, as we've already covered. But yeah, Rodoni looked great. He looked great at the start of the season, Tom. Does he look like he's back to his purring best?
I would say there was definitely glimpses of it last night. I thought he had a really, really good game. I kept turning to my girlfriend during the game and saying, Rodoni looks phenomenal tonight. And this is the Rodoni we know and love. Obviously, I don't want to get too carried away and say, yes, he's back, because obviously, he might not have the same performance on Saturday. I hope he does, because he's one of my favourite players. And it has been a shame to see the fans be on his back a little bit, me included, I'm not going to lie. But his performances haven't been up there. But yeah, last night I thought he was phenomenal, especially for the first goal as well when he assisted Haji. That was a really, really good assist. I mean, it was just a really, really nice team goal in general. And as for Sakamoto, he was phenomenal as well last night. You could give Rodoni man of the match, but you could also give Sakamoto man of the match as well. But I knew Saka was going to have a good game. Within like 2 minutes, he nearly assisted Haji when he hit the post. And that's how I knew Sakamoto was going to have a good game. But yeah, Rodoni was phenomenal.
Yeah, brilliant. And as a neutral, I would say, fantastic game for the Championship as well. Good it's on a Monday night. Good that it gets an international audience, and great that we have a good game as well. That's two good games we've had on Monday nights. Super. Right, this one for all of you. Then Norval Roger says, reasons to be happy as a Coventry fan. Number one, we're back top. 2, 6-point gap now to third. We've already played the rest of the top 4 twice. We've already beat 2 of them twice. Leicester are going down. It feels like a massive turning point for us. I mean, Jay, when you look at it now, that gap to Ipswich, gap to Millwall, it's done, isn't it, now, after that result last night? Or have we been here before as a Coventry fan?
Again, I think I sort of mentioned this last week. I saw a tweet that sort of says, first of all, you avoid relegation. We've done that, tick. Now we get enough points to get a playoff. We'll be there soon, get that little tick, and then it's second place. Once you've got second place, happy days, then you can go for the title. So it's never done, it's all done. But the good thing is, Coventry, out of the top 5, let's not sort of exclude Hull out of this as well. Again, personally, I don't think them or Millwall will be in the push, but they're still in there, so we've got to include them. Coventry have to play Hull once. Boro got to play 2 of them. I can't remember which 2, but they've got to play Ipswich and Millwall. Ipswich got to play Boro, Millwall, Hull, and obviously Millwall got to play them all, and Hull have got to play ourselves and Millwall. So there's going to be a lot of points that those lot sort of lose between each other. So it's definitely going to be a bit of a gap. I'm very, very confident. I was confident for the last couple of weeks as well that we're still going to get autos. So I'm very confident that we're going to get it. We'll carry on pushing. I do believe this is a bit of a turning point for us. It's going to give the club, the fans, the players massive confidence boosts that they didn't just beat Boro. They outclassed them really. Obviously, the second half of game management I felt, and yeah, we did go directly even more. But like Ben mentioned, they didn't lay a glove on us. I can't really think of them creating too many sort of opportunities. They played lovely little. They give them a bit similar. I said this as well when we played up their side. They played lovely little passing triangles and stuff around their box and their half and stuff like that. Didn't really create much at all. So I'm confident. And yeah, Leicester going down as well, which is a nice little added plus as well. So lovely to get out from there as well.
Okay, we'll talk about West Brom in a minute. Should we have a look at a salty Middlesbrough tweet? Cheers up. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Rob Wynn, Boro fan, says, "We don't fear them. That was all of our doing. We reset, we go again. We will win more than Coventry, Ipswich and Millwall, so there's no panic. Coventry looked poor. They just hoofed it, kicked it and moaned."
And wind as well.
And wind as well, yeah. Chris, how do you respond to
that? I replied to him, I think. I'm pretty sure I replied to him. I only saw maybe like half a dozen or so tweets like that. Most Middlesbrough fans are pretty humble about it and, recognise that we were the better team. They had more of the ball, great. We did more with it. We played them off the park. Middlesbrough are probably going to win more games than us for the rest of the season. I think they will. I think they've got slightly easier fixtures than we've got. But as Jay says, I couldn't give less of a toss if we win the league. Just got to finish in the top two. I'm still a little bit worried about Ipswich. Don't count them out. They've got 2 games in hand as well. So they'll be there or thereabouts. And I think they've got a couple of home games coming up soon as well. But yeah, there's always a little bit of a head loss, ain't there? Like I genuinely can't understand any Middlesbrough fan who seriously thinks that they were in any way, shape or form not deserving of that 3-1 loss.
I mean, the Ipswich podcast we do is actually some of the fans are starting to turn against McKenna a little bit, especially after Friday night's Wrexham result. They're not scoring enough goals, if you notice. And, of course, they've got to go away to Norwich as well. And Norwich now are the form team in the division. I think you've already played twice as well, haven't you? So there's another one they've got to get out of the way with. That is not an easy game for them. But it's to the Hawthorns. We had then, Ben, on Saturday. Here's another team that could be going down as well. They are absolutely rotten at the moment. Any tears for them at all?
I only think about us. I couldn't care less about West Brom, to be honest. But it's going to be another tough game. It's away. It's never an easy place to go. And I just think we found the formula now with Frank in that central midfield role, CDM. I think that he was the missing piece we need, and I think now I want to see the same team unchanged every game possibly we can. We can feel the same team, build consistency, swap a winger here and there potentially. But I'm confident. But after the last month and a half, I want to see it before I sort of. But yeah, I am confident that we'll go there, and I think that we could really hurt them.
Yeah, I think you will. They haven't won in 6. Well, they haven't got any points in the new manager. They are nearly
weird
bottom of the form league as well.
Oh, really weird appointment. Yeah.
Yeah. If you listen to their fans, it's an MLS appointment, which you all know, how that kind of goes in English football. Right, Tom, have we missed anybody that we need to shout out from that game yesterday? I feel like there's others perhaps need to. We've done Sakamoto. We briefly mentioned anybody else before we move on.
Rushworth. I mean, he didn't really have much to do, but when he did have something to do, he did his job like he always does. He's phenomenal. And his assist as well. I was not expecting that, but that assist was brilliant. Straight to Haji. Great finish. Fair play, Rushworth. Yeah, he deserves a mention. That's probably... I mean, the defence. I thought the defence were all phenomenal. The whole back line was brilliant. So I just think everyone just played their part and gave it 100. So fair play to the whole squad. They showed up. They got the job done. Let's go on to West Brom and get a result there now.
Brilliant.
Can I just give a very short mention to Latabodier? Like,
Phenomenal.
Such an underrated little player. What a phenomenal performance! Like he's so composed and assured, and I don't think anybody expected that. I thought that it would probably be Bobby and Wolfenden last night. I didn't expect Latty to start at all, but he was fantastic. Every time he's been called upon this season, he's given probably 8 or 9 out of 10 performance. But last night he was fantastic.
Good show.
It's no coincidence with Latty that every manager that he's played under trusts him. They all trust him, and they all he just can't run, can he? That's the only thing with Latty, but he didn't really have to last night, did he? Sorry, Mark.
No, all good. We're coming up to the A to Z section of the show in a second. It's up to letter P this week, so get your thinking caps on for that. Just a heads up though, on next week's show, we hit the letter Q. So we're going to need your help in the comments here. Has there been, other than that one, has there been any other footballers with the surname Q?
Queen Park Rangers 7-1 win earlier in the season.
You're ruining next week's episode here. Help us out in the comments. What goes in for Q next week? We definitely need your help with that. They smashed O last week. That was absolutely phenomenal. But yes, can we get some help with Q, please? Right. P also stands for playoffs and promotion, Jay. So we obviously all hope that Coventry are going up. Well, not all of the country, but everyone on here certainly does. Who would you love to be promoted with? Who deserves to come up to the Prem with you, in your view?
I don't really care too much, Steve.
I know you don't, but play along. It makes a boring chat if you don't care.
For me personally, I would like a non-party. I don't have no offense to Ipswich, but I would rather them not go up and maybe a Boro and a Millwall, for example, come up with us. Would be quite nice because it's like 3 sort of randomish sort of teams. I'd love to see Millwall in the Premier League. I don't know why. I just really love the idea of Man City going down to Millwall on a cold Tuesday night kind of thing. It would be quite entertaining. And then, but Boro, again, I think have been playing some really good football of late. Hopefully we've shown the blueprint for other teams how to play against them. But look, I think from the beginning of August or something, it's either been Boro at the top, then we would have been up to the top for most of the season, and then they went on top, and we've been on top as well. So it's been for most of the season, it's been us to the top of the table. So it'll be quite hard for both of us to be going up as well. So I'll say Boro and Millwall behind Coventry.
Okay. Of course, we ask this question to every other team that we do the podcast with, and the only 2 teams which said Coventry deserve to go up and we want to see them there, weirdly, were Birmingham City and West Brom themselves, because they said, look, we want loads of Midland sides up there. The Midland sides need to dominate the Premier League. So, they are, didn't expect that, but there we go. Playoffs, we're also talking about playoffs. Chris, the discussion this week has been around the AFL possibly taking playoff position down to 8th place. Just want to get your quick view on that. Is that madness, or is that something you probably would like to see?
No, complete madness. I can't remember the exact number, but how many points did Sunderland finish behind Sheffield United last season?
It was about, I think it was 8 or 9, was it? Something like that. It wasn't massive.
It wasn't a huge amount, was it? No, yeah. But if you go down to 8th, like we've seen Sheffield United, I think they finished on 90 something points, didn't they? Like 94 or something like that last season. 8th place could feasibly finish a good 25-30 points behind them, and then end up sneaking through the playoffs to get to the Premier League. And that would be a lovely story, especially if it was like I don't know, a Bristol or somebody like that, Bristol City. But what chance in hell would they have in the Premier League the next season? Like if we win the league this season, let's face it, we're going to get battered most weeks in the Premier League, and that's going up as the top number 1 team in the division. What the hell are you going to expect of the team that's finished 8th in the Championship? Even going away to some of the, I don't know, like your West Hams and your Spurses that have been struggling really badly, like they'd just be relegation fodder immediately, wouldn't they? They'd be the odds-on bookies' favourites to be relegated straight back down. So, yeah, it's nonsense. I think it's just an opportunity for Sky to get more games on TV. make a bit more money.
Yeah, that's exactly it, isn't it? They argue, Ben, of course, about dead rubbers as well towards the end of the season and making the season more alive. There's another argument they put forward. Do you buy that or not?
Well, yeah, that makes sense, and it would stop dead rubber games towards the end of the season. But the playoffs? We all know and love the playoffs for what they are, and why fix something that's not broken? But it's just like Chris says, it's all money flipping for Sky. They'll have how many games would it be? Would be four one-legged ties, and that'll be big nights on Sky, and then we all know what. If I had to place money on it, I'd say it probably will happen. To be honest,
I think it will. I think every team's going to vote. When you look at Preston and Bristol City, those teams that always finish 8th, of course they're going to vote for it, aren't they? Yeah.
Just to rebut that as well, I think this last season, especially, everything went down to the last game. Pretty much, the title went down to the last game. The playoff places went down to the last game. The relegation went down to the last game as well. I don't think there's any dead rubbers in this league at all. Maybe a little random game here and there. But I would say probably most, if not everything, went down to the last game. And that's not just the championship. That was like League One, League Two. Everything was just madness. Right up to the end of the season, the only league that has dead rubbers is the Premier League. That's it. The title's won by March most of the time. The relegation sorted out by that time as well. So maybe they need to sort something out. Leave us alone. Until
it's the easiest time to bet anyway, the dead rubbers. Leave them alone.
Right, Jay is going to be coming up with Ben and Tom in the West Sky Blues Walk Extra Time shortly, so stay on the line for that. Before we get to that, though, who's got a decent one for P going into the A to Z? Any good ones?
I didn't prepare for this, as you probably know. I thought it was tomorrow night, so I've just thought of something like Presley, maybe. Stephen Presley.
Okay.
I've got two players. I've got Stuart Pearce, a bit before my time, but obviously a bit of a legend in football in general. But for me, Jamie Patterson, again, obviously very short stint on this. But I always remember that goal he scored, that volley.
Pompey,
brilliant goal. So for that, that's the only one I can think of, really.
Okay.
Oh, a bit of a random one, and it's not for his surname, but Paul Telfer. P for Paul, that'll do.
Okay.
I love Telfer.
My granddad had a dog called Telfer.
I think the hashtag PUSB has to get in there with a shout as well.
Oh yeah, PUSB,
because it is just synonymous now with some. Synonymous obviously with Coventry, but synonymous with some lunatics on Twitter. Just place it everywhere. What are we putting in there then? Jay, choose for us this week.
So you put Ben's granddad's dog in.
Telfer.
Save it for tea in a couple of weeks.
I'll go for. I don't know. I'm going to go Stuart Pearce. Just because. Yeah,
I think we give it to Pato. He's a Cov lad. He scored that goal. That was the best moment of last season, potentially, wasn't it?
Give James Patterson.
All right, James Patterson gets in for P. Then help us out with Q in the comments. And if we've missed any obvious ones for P, of course, get typing away now, and we'll blast this lot with it next week. Join us then after that West Brom game. We'll give our reviews next Sunday. Join us for that, and we wish you well. Here comes Jay, Tom, and Ben with West Sky Blues Walk Extra Time.
Not a bad night in this CBS arena. Coventry 3, Boro 1. First of all, how were you guys feeling before the game? As I said, I was very nervous myself. Tom, you said you're nervous. Ben, how were you feeling? You're a confident lad.
I was a little bit nervous, but I have been watching Boro, and I feel like they were a bit like us. Do you know, everyone says we were brilliant at the start of the season, which we was, no doubt. But there were games where we was winning, but I thought, it was on a knife edge there. If they scored that first goal, it could have been a different story, i.e. the Watford game at home. Remember that? They went through, and Middlesbrough have been a bit like that. And just because people are easily feeling, you get like the championship experts talking about, because they play pretty football in the final third and the 1-2s and triangles, they sort of get roped into that. But I did see vulnerabilities with them. I mean, why they played Luke Ayling instead of Dale Fry last night, because Haji Wright just stood on him all night. I mean, why didn't they swap? Why didn't Melanda mark Wright? It didn't make any sense to me. Like, it was just, what do you think? Why did they change that? Sort of, you could see it in the first 10 minutes. Haji Wright rose up from a Sakamoto cross in the first minute and hit the post. And it was like the warning signs were there for them early doors, and they persist on playing a weak sort of left back at centre half who can't run. But yeah. So I've gone off on a tangent there, Jay. But I was pretty confident. Yeah.
I was confident of the win, but I don't normally get butterflies. But I've got to start getting some butterflies around, I say 5 o'clock-ish, which is not very usual for me. But we come on to the starting lineup. No sort of major real surprises. The defense, maybe. I was hoping Thomas came back in. I was, like Chris said earlier, I thought maybe Wolfenden would start, but again, I think Latty has been brilliant so far this season when we called on that. 6 games now he's played. I think it is 4 wins, 2 draws, I think. But
we haven't lost a game with Lassie in the lineup.
Yeah, there you go. So, Tom, what did you think? And obviously, Onyeka came in as well. Just generally, how did you think when you first saw that lineup? What was your sort of thinking behind it? Rodoni starting, Haji starting as well. What was your sort of general take on the starting 11?
Yeah, the first thing I looked for was Onyeka because I really wanted him to start this game because I knew how big it was. Really, really happy when I saw his name. I knew he'd have a big impact. Look what happened. He was phenomenal. When I saw Latty and Bobby, I was personally really happy about it. I knew Bobby would come back because it felt like a game Bobby could really impact, the sort of player he is, with how strong he is. I was expecting Wolfenden as well, but when I saw Latty, I was like, I'm fine with that because Latty's come in this season. I can't think he's put one bad performance in. We haven't lost a single game with him starting. So I was like, yeah, this is probably our best 11 currently. Rodoni starting, I was like, if he turns up, brilliant. If not, it's just another Rodoni game at the moment. He proved us still wrong. I thought he was amazing as well. And I think the rest of it was pretty self-explanatory. I saw Tat starting over Essay. That's fine. Mason Clark coming back. I thought that was fairly standard as well. So yeah, I was pretty happy with the lineup. I was really excited going, and it filled me with a bit more confidence than I was feeling just before it came out because I was nervous.
That is fine. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that as well. Latty, I thought, yeah, he's been really, really good. Onyeka, obviously, I think we're all dying to see Onyeka. And Tats at home on these sort of night games, he's always phenomenal, I think, as well. Haji starting again, I was a bit, I don't know, I wouldn't say I've completely written him off, but I thought maybe his confidence sort of went after the Oxford game maybe a little bit. But Ben, were you happy with Haji starting? Obviously, we won't go too much into detail as of yet with the game itself, but Haji starting, were you expecting Haji to start over Sims, or would you be thinking Sims maybe worthwhile getting his chance?
Well, I put in the group chat that I think Haji should start. I do. I think he's our best striker without a doubt. I'd play Haji. I don't want to come. I love Sims. I like him as a player, but I'd play Haji 10 times out of 10 over Ellis Sims. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's got a lot more quality. He's more clever with his runs. He gets in behind a lot more, and yeah, I just think that he's a player on big nights. Like he can do it under the lights, can't he? Remember that goal against Oxford last season, last minute. He's just got that about him. But what he does lack is a bit of consistency. So hopefully now we've got the wingers ticking over. Hopefully they can provide him that service he needs.
Definitely, I do think that game's going to give everyone a massive confidence boost as well. It'll give them an extra little step in that next game against West Brom. The start of the game I thought was, from Coventry, very surprising, but I thought it was phenomenal. But the very, very first thing we're going to discuss is the kickoff. Did you all see what happened at kickoff?
The Latibodia.
Latibodia. Have you seen what he did tonight as well? There's a video of that little clip of Conway sort of flying on the floor after body checked by Latibodia. Latibodia just retweeted. It said boing on the genius. But I personally thought that just set the tone of the game. Basically, cover up for the fight. I saw that. I was like, yeah, these boys are sort of up for it now. But the start of the game, what was your sort of take on it? Because I was quite taken aback from it. I thought we were going to be a bit more compressed a little bit, sort of feel our way into the game. But I thought we played brilliant high press. Didn't let Boro settle on the ball at all. Tom, obviously you were there. What was your sort of take of it at the CBS, and obviously what were the fans like as well? Because it sounded amazing.
I mean, the atmosphere was, I thought from like literally kickoff, it was, I mean, before the game, it was brilliant. I mean, it had every pyro imaginable. They even had smoke coming out the entrance. I mean, I've never seen that before. It was like a WWE entrance. So yeah, it was brilliant. But the atmosphere, I mean, it really got the crowd going. We Live and Die in these towns was, I'd say, one of the loudest I've heard this season. The fans are up for it, and I think the players knew that. the Latibodia thing was brilliant, and I think it set the tone that like we're here to win. And yeah, don't get me wrong, Boro dominated the ball in the first half. I think I saw today they had like 75% possession or something like that, which is crazy. But as Chris said earlier, we did better on the ball. We did more with it. So, and then obviously we had the chance early doors with Sakamoto playing it into Haji, and that set the tone for me. Like, all right, we're here to win this, and I don't think they're expecting this, and it proved right. So yeah. But it was a decent first half performance. I remember at halftime thinking 2 players really stood out for me, and that was Onyeka and Rodoni. I thought they were really good first half, and Saka as well. And obviously Haji because he got the goal. But that team goal was phenomenal as well. It was one of my favourite goals this season. I thought it was Sakamoto. No, sorry, Rodoni. No, it was Sakamoto into Rodoni into Haji. It was brilliant.
Brilliant goal itself. So just looking at the stats of that first half. As you mentioned, Tom, Boro had a lot of the ball, which I was quite surprised at, really, how much ball they did have. It was 38% to Coventry, 62% to Boro, which I was quite surprised at, just because I thought we had a lot more of the general play. XG, 0.72 to Coventry, 0.43 to Boro. Both had 6 shots. Coventry had 2 on target. Boro had 0. Coventry had 2 big chances. Boro, obviously, 0. Coventry, 1 big chance missed. Obviously, Boro 0. Passing-wise, we had 117 passes compared with 74% success rate. They had 232% at 85%. So, like me, Ben, were you quite surprised that the possession was so high for Boro in that first half? Because looking at the game, I thought it was fairly equal-ish. Boro maybe had a little bit more possession, but we obviously were a little more direct with our play. What was your sort of take on those numbers?
It tells me that Lampard's done his homework. Him and his team have done a lot of research on Boro and the way they play, and he's let them have the ball in areas that are not dangerous. The midfield have blocked the passing lines, and he's just had them on toast. And you've got to give credit where credit's due to Lampard and the analytic team. They've just done a number on them, and like I said before, I think that a lot of teams are going to follow suit with that now. I mean, you look at Millwall. I think they're going to sort of try that game plan, and Middlesbrough are going to lose some points. I can see it now. I mean, everyone's writing Leicester off against Middlesbrough, but do you know what killed Middlesbrough last night was our width. And arguably, Leicester have got 2 of the best wings in the league in Mavididi and Fatawu. So don't write Leicester off to beat them, because they could hurt them.
I'm hoping, as a Coventry fan, I'm hoping Gary Wright comes in. I think he's sort of favoured for the job, and they have a lovely manager bounce, because I think they're playing quite a few of these teams around us as well. So come on, Leicester, I'm rooting for you guys to stay up and win a few games. Okay. But obviously that leads me nicely on to sort of the next thing I want to talk about is sort of tactics. I thought, a bit like the Boro away game for us, I thought Lampard got the tactics absolutely spot on. Obviously, first thing we'll notice, again, I've been sort of lambasting this over the last couple of weeks, the fullbacks weren't bombing on as much. They're a bit more reserved, I thought, which worked out very well. The defenders basically were just left to defend. They weren't having to sort of bring the ball out and play with it as much. The shield of Grimes and Onyeka, brilliant, I thought. The press from the front 4-5 players, again, top-notch. Tats, especially for me, was really, really good. I want to talk to both of you about this, but sort of, Tom, what was your sort of take on the tactics? How was it different to the Oxford game that we had? Obviously, very, very different team. And were you as impressed, as surprised as me, how we came out in that game?
I was quite surprised how we came out. I thought it was going to be a really nervy game. I wasn't expecting as many goals, especially for us. I mean, I knew we'd concede because at the moment, we kept a clean sheet against Oxford, but they literally didn't even start a striker. So I knew we were going to concede because at the moment we just can't keep a clean sheet, but that's fine. I mean, when you're in a game 3-1, you can't complain at all about the goal. But yeah, I was expecting a really, really tense game, maybe like a 1-0 or maybe, I was hoping not for a draw, just a win, but it was going to be a tight game. But I thought we just bullied them, and I thought that was the best tactic we could have. Just go out there, show them who we are, and just bully them off the ball, and that's what we did. And it proved right on the night. And I don't think Boro were expecting that at all. I think they're expecting a nervy game and to try and nick it. But we came out all guns blazing and we took it to him. And Lampard got it absolutely spot on. So fair play to him. But you got 14 games left. Stick with the same lineup, I say, and just.
He's frozen a little bit there.
Yeah, he's gone.
Weird little pose.
My God.
No,
Sorry. Yeah, I was yapping on there. Sorry.
Mid passionate sort of rant there, which I liked as always. But I'm going to ask the same question to yourself, Ben, as well. Obviously, as I mentioned, the fullbacks weren't bombing us on as much. Again, it's been a pet peeve of mine of recent weeks, especially when we're not sort of picking up points. Sorry. How did you feel the back four and the midfield sort of dealt with a very, very impressive Boro team over the last couple of weeks? I thought we completely nullified them for most of the game. What was your sort of take on especially the defensive side of the midfield and defence, basically?
The fullbacks did get forward. They did get forward, not quite as much, but they were up the pitch. Milan was getting up. De Silva was up a few times, and there was one point where Conway got in behind, if you remember. So I feel like they've just reset. They've gone back to basics. Let's keep this, like they've said. Let's keep this sort of bottom third of the pitch solid, because our wingers and our strikers and Rodoni, they will score goals. So all you do need to do is sort of have a good structure, keep it solid. You've got Latty in there talking to the wing backs, pulling them back in, full back should I say, and we've got enough talent up at the top end of the pitch to win us games, and that's the way it was with Leeds last season. You look at Leeds and Burnley; they stayed solid, and the talent they've got in the team will win you games. So I think that we've gone back to basics and just said, let's stay solid because we'll win games. And I think that's the key. I think Onyeka coming in has just added a completely different dimension to the way we can play. And obviously, you mentioned about Oxford. I think it was a bit easier for us yesterday because there was a lot more space for the strikers to run into and Rodoni to get into because we was playing someone that came to play. And that's what we're going to face this season a lot more. I think is people that are not coming to play at the CBS. So I think bringing Rodoni back into the starting lineup was a masterstroke because he was really good in between the lines, weren't he, yesterday?
Very, very good. Again, as Tom mentioned, I thought he wasn't back to sort of peak Rodoni last season, but you could definitely see he's back on his way there. Tom Onyeka, talk to me about Onyeka. What was your? I thought the guy covered every blade of grass yesterday, ran around, got his big toe in constantly. Committed fouls at the right time. He looked like a Premier League player in my eyes. What was your sort of take on Onyeka? How did he fit into that midfield? And what do you expect from him in the next 14 games?
I mean, if the Brentford fans say he's found his level, then I'm buzzing with that because he was phenomenal. I mean, the main thing for me that he did well, and this is something that I've been talking about every week, and it's been so frustrating for every Cov fan, is gaps in the midfield. And there was no gaps yesterday. And that was the main thing for me. And you saw it and it paid off so well. I mean, I thought he was brilliant. He was winning the ball back. Don't get me wrong, the yellow card was a bit frustrating. It happens, but then he had to be a bit more careful after that. But he didn't really put a foot wrong at all. I thought his passing was really nice. I think straight off the bat, I remember watching the highlights, he played a ball into Sakamoto. I think it was the Haji chance. Brilliant pass. He tried a pass in the second. Oh no, was it second half? Yeah, no, I think it was the first half. I think he tried it to EMC. It would have been a really nice pass that would have paid off. But you can tell he's trying these big Hollywood passes as well. He's pushing Grimes up more. You can see Grimes just was more comfortable. Yeah, I thought he was brilliant defensively, going forward. Yeah, brilliant player. And I think for the next 14 games, he gives us that. Messed up my words there, sorry. I think he gives us that stability in the midfield with no gaps as well, because that has been a major gripe for me for weeks now.
Definitely agree with that as well. I thought his performance freed up Matt Grimes a little bit more. Again, I don't think Grimes was as good on the ball as he normally was, but he said they've really worked well together and battled. What were your... Again, also, you have to sort of consider Middlesbrough have got 3 central midfielders in there, and their wingers tend to play quite narrow as well. Plus, Tommy Conway sort of comes in quite deep also, so maybe doesn't have as much time on the ball that he normally does. What was your take on Grimes? I thought he played really, really well with Onyeka, cut a lot of gaps off whilst dealing with a really, really good midfield unit from Boro. What was your sort of take on Grimes? I think he's dropped maybe a little bit of level over the last couple of weeks, but he's definitely coming back into his peak form, I'd say. That's bad.
Yeah, they were both tenacious, weren't they? I mean, Grimes was tenacious and he was winning duels, he was intercepting passes, he was making tackles. And I think you'll see Grimes' confidence build now. Now he's got a stable, because his midfield's been swapping. He's been partnering Tort one week, Eccles the next. It's been mixing it up, and I think now I'll have a bit of stability, and we'll see a bit more off Grimes, a bit more freedom, a bit more sort of chance to express himself and do what he wants to do. But I was really impressed with both of them last night. What I'd say is they were both brave. They were brave. They wanted the ball sort of in areas that were dangerous. I mean, I remember Onyeka getting the ball on the edge of our box and beating a man and drawing a foul. You can say what you want, but he schooled them two young boys in there yesterday, didn't he? The Grimes and Onyeka taught them a lesson. I just loved every minute last night. It was just amazing. I went with my boy. It's half term, isn't it? So he was up there and we didn't get back till late. It was absolutely buzzing. Yeah, it was brilliant.
It was one of my favourite performances of the season. It was genuinely like the atmosphere, everything, the atmosphere, the performance, the win. After the game, it was just top of the league. It was brilliant. It was a perfect night for me.
Yeah, again, I think any game under the lights is always good, especially with the little ones as well. But again, I was touching on a point you just mentioned there, Ben. Matt Grimes won the most tackles in the match. I think he won 5 tackles, and Onyeka was the most fouled player on the pitch, which I thought he was very smart with some of the fouls that he's drawing out from Boro throughout the game as well, which is really, really good and something that we definitely need in our team. Obviously, we go into half-time 1-0 up, scored a fantastic goal, as Tom mentioned earlier. Going into half-time, we knew Boro were going to come out and sort of try and push us in that second half. I thought they started quite well. I think they had a chance with Whittaker. I think it was a header, maybe a minute into the half. But definitely, we sort of relinquished the ball. We sort of let them play. We sort of managed the game. I would say let's call it. We sort of sat back a little bit, and we were definitely looking at definitely looking more on the counter, which is very sort of evident in the stats here. Again, I'm going to come to you, Tom. Coventry possession, 20% in that second half. Obviously, 80% to Boro. XG for us, 1.07. For them, 0.65. We had 3 shots. They had 12. We had 2 shots on target. They had 4 shots on target. We had 2 big chances. They only had 1. So out of the 12 chances, they created 1 big chance, which presumably would be their goal. We had 50 passes in that second half at a 54% success rate. They had 332 at 88%.
Oh, God.
So massively different sort of passing stats there. But this, for me personally, I said this as well when we went away to Boro. People were sort of saying, "Oh, Boro amazing how they played." Didn't create anything. I thought we just sort of sat back maybe sort of 5 yards off the edge of our box, let them have the ball, cut off the passing lanes, and they did not create anything at all, which was quite evident with their shot Hackney had for our second goal. But Tom, based on the stats, what's your thinking on the stats? How did you think we played? Boro sort of saying that we went a bit too direct and stuff. What was your sort of thinking with those stats that I said? They are quite shocking, I'd say, for a team at the top of the table. What's your sort of take on that?
Yeah, the stats don't lie. Boro didn't really create anything. When they got the goal, it got really nervy for me, only for about 16 seconds after that, because we got a penalty. But I think the goal was unfortunate, because I think it deflected off, was it Latty's, just like his face? I think I can't remember who took the shot, but it bounced off Latty's face and just tapped it away. So nothing Rushworth could have done. It was an unfortunate goal. Things got a bit nervy there, and then obviously we had the penalty, and it all calmed down after that. But yeah, I mean, Boro, I was really expecting to come in creating quite a lot, because you've seen them, look at them against Sheffield United. In previous games, they've created a lot of chances, but they created next to nothing. I mean, when Rushworth did have to do something, you didn't have to worry about it, because it was nothing big. I mean, that, like you said, that Hackney chance was so easy, and then it created our goal. So, yeah, I mean, they definitely controlled the ball more. The possession doesn't lie. The passes as well. I didn't know it was that many, but it's what you do on the ball, and it's about getting the win, and that's what we did. So, but fair play to Boro. They're still a great side, and I have no doubt they'll bounce back against Oxford at home this Saturday. I mean, they'll probably do what we couldn't do against Oxford, and that's win at home against them. So we just got to go to West Brom and win, and then As I think it was Ben said earlier, I think Leicester at home won't be an easy game for him either. And I think with the new manager, especially Rowett, he likes to keep teams up. You never know.
Fingers crossed. Come on, Leicester, as I said earlier. So yeah, obviously, you want to talk about the bit of the change of tactics with Ben as well. Another stat in the entire game, we had 16 touches in their box. They had 39 touches in our box. Obviously, we changed our tactics in that second half, which again, I thought we managed the game quite well. Obviously, we went direct as well, but a lot more direct. So, a couple of points there. What was your thinking of the change of direct tactics, our directness, and also why did you think Boro struggled to break it down? Because I thought we defended, Bobby Thomas especially, Lati also was brilliant, and the fullbacks I thought did really, really well as well. Why did you think Boro struggled to break it down? Because we've seen some beautiful, intricate passing from them over the last couple of weeks.
Because we were strong, solid, we was aggressive, and we held the lines well. For the first time in probably this season, really, we've had two central midfielders that are going to fight for every single ball, and they're going to remain they're two old heads, aren't they? We've got Grimes, who's 30, and you've got Onyeka, who's got a lot of experience. He plays internationally, and when you've got Lati in the team, you've got a communicator. And it's like Tom said before, we've not lost with him in the team this season. And I always said it, he's our best defender, but he can't run. But he didn't need to do so much running last night because he was being looked after. Even Rodoni worked so hard last night. He worked so hard. And at the end of the day, you answer to your question, you play the game in front of you. And that's the way we need to play every single game now. We play the game in front of us. We look at the opposition and we play the play. Are we away at somewhere? Right, okay, do we need to have a back five, back three? Do we need to do that? Yes, they're the weaknesses that the other teams have got, and we play every game like a cup final, and you play the game in front of you. And I think that everyone's been saying, oh, Lampard's got no plan B, but at the start of the season, he had a plan B and a plan C when we was winning. But just because we'd lost a few games, it's been a bit rough. Everyone's saying, oh, he's got no plan B, but he showed last night again that he's got a plan B and a C. So I feel like he deserves a bit more credit, to be honest.
Yeah, well, everyone's raving about Hellball over the last couple of weeks, and I was not that impressed by it, to be honest with you. I thought Lampard got the tactics bang on. That, again, bring on to the next point, really. Subs. Again, I tweeted around sort of 65 minutes that we need to start looking at making some subs. I thought Jack Rodoni did start looking a bit tired. He was carrying the ball quite a lot for us in that second half, and he worked his socks off that whole game. Efron Mason-Cart looked a bit tired as well. The subs that came on, Eccles, I'm a big fan of Eccles. I think you guys, I know you guys are as well. I think he's been brilliant in the last couple of months. Probably one player that's come out with a little bit of credit, him and Rushworth, I'd say, over the last couple of months, that bad patch. SA, I thought actually did quite well defensively. He tracked back a few times as well. Sims, again, put himself about a little bit. And obviously our boy Markello came on as well. What was you thinking about the timing of the substitutions? Obviously, first of all, SA and Eccles came on. We just conceded a goal as well. So I think the subs was about to come on, concede the goal. Lampard stuck to his guns and brought the same two players on. What was your thinking when Rodoni and Mason-Cart came off and SA and Eccles came on? Considering 17 seconds later, something magical happened that we haven't seen for a long time as well.
Yeah, I thought the subs came at the right times. I thought they both looked knackered, to be fair. I mean, Rodoni's probably not back at full fitness, as we keep saying, but he had a phenomenal game, no doubt. I mean, Eccles, I've been raving on about him all season. He's up there for one of the player of the seasons for me so far. And look what he does already. Comes on for, 16 seconds and wins us the penalty. Phenomenal. And I thought he was going to take it as well because he was holding the ball. And I was like, this takes the pressure off Haji. But I was like, I want Haji to get his hat-trick. So I was happy about that. As you said as well, SA... I thought he tracked back really well last night defensively, which is something he's been called out for quite a lot. So that was nice to see. And then even Markello coming on, it just makes me laugh when he tried that cross and it went to Rose's head. That did make me laugh. But he looks bright, to be fair to him, and he seems really happy. And he joined all the celebrations at the end. So good for him. I've got a really bright future, I reckon. But that cross did make me laugh.
Playing for time, playing for the minutes. I think we're a bit too early there, but. Again, same question to you, Ben. What was your sort of thoughts on the subs? Again, I thought personally, the bunch of them, I thought Eccles came on really, really well, made it a lot more solid in the middle there. And I was actually I was actually quietly. I've been one of the critics of SA. Again, going forward, I think the guy's got magic in his boots. He's absolutely phenomenal, but he does sort of struggle a little bit with the defence side of the game. But as I saw, there's a moment he was defending the 6-yard box and stuff like that. I thought he put a lot more effort in as well. Mark Keller actually came on and put a lot more effort in as well. What was your sort of thinking about the timing of the subs and the actual subs themselves and what they did well at that time of the game?
Well, I thought the subs were 15 seconds too late, to be honest. But that can't be helped. Like, I think that Lampard did everything right last night. And to tell you what, and I did notice last night, I thought, if I'm playing us, I'm thinking, wow, what a bench. Like, they bring we have got a top-end bench now. This is no messing around. We've got a real squad now, and it's danger. And I feel like you'll get to see the best out of SA and Markello when we're playing against low blocks, because that's what we could have done with last week. Markello coming into on later on and stuff like that. So SA looked a bit annoyed to me last night that he's come here and Sakamoto's kicked on and the competition's there. He looked like he was a bit pissed off when he came on. So yeah, I feel we're in a good place, but we've got to back it on Saturday. We've got to.
We've got BTA to come back as well on Saturday, which is massive.
That's the conversation in a couple of minutes, boys. So let's park that for a second, because that's going to be a point after the next one. One guy we haven't mentioned, I did this last week as well, Tom. Haven't mentioned him at all. This time for the good. One player I haven't mentioned, Haji. Right. I thought the guy worked his socks off. I say there's probably about a 10-minute spell beginning of the second half. I thought he could have worked a little bit harder, but I thought he gave them centre-backs problems all night. People keep raving about Malanda. He looked good, but I thought Haji Wright caused him problems.
He had him on toast.
Ailing's going to have nightmares about that guy for weeks and weeks on end. What were your... Yeah, again, we asked both of you, but first of all, Tom, break down Haji Wright's performance from yesterday. What was the good, the bad and the ugly, and what does he need to do going forward?
I mean, the only bad I can really think of was, as you said, that little 10-minute spell. But except for that, I would say it was probably one of, if not his best, game in a Cov kit. He was phenomenal. He was getting about. He was everywhere. He was completely bullying the defence. It was 2-on-1 and he was completely bullying them. I mean, the first goal, it's a little tap in, fair enough. The penalty, it's a pressure penalty for the last one as well. But the second goal is just the way he bullies off Ailing, and then Ailing's blaming the goalkeeper as well. I was like, you can't blame the goalkeeper for that. It's completely your fault, mate. Like, that is just bad defending. But Haji Wright does everything right there. Yeah, I thought 10 out of 10 performance. I mean, except for that little 10-minute spell, but I'm not going to get on his back at all for that, because he was phenomenal. I mean, he was my man of the match. You can't really give it to anyone else when you get a hat-trick. I mean, social media is raving about Haji Wright at the moment as well, which is so nice to see. I mean, he must have woken up today and think my confidence is sky high, because I've got every social media outlet praising me this morning, and he deserves it. He was absolutely phenomenal. He was brilliant, and that is the Haji Wright we love, and we know how good he is. And I think I saw a stat today. Since 2000, he's scored 45 goals for us. I think that's is it the third highest? I think Matty Godden was second and he was third. I think there's Cov put the stat out today.
Yes. I think he's done that 4 games less as well.
Yeah. And he does score goals. As much as people say get on his back a little bit, me included at times, I'll hold my hands up. He can score goals. And yesterday shows it. I think it was probably his best game in a Cov kit. He was brilliant.
Ben?
I think he's been good for a few weeks. I think he missed a lot of chances against Oxford, but he was getting in them areas that the other strikers wouldn't even be in. I mean, he's battling, he's fighting, and like I said earlier in the show, I think that Middlesbrough were very naive yesterday, letting Ailing mark Haji Wright. I mean, I can't get my head around that, and that sort of shows that Hellbull has got a lot of vulnerabilities to it, and he's got a lot to learn, because managers do come in this league, they do well, and then you sort of get found out, and then you have to find another gear to get into. So I'll be interested to see how they bounce back. Luckily, they've got sort of Oxford this weekend, haven't they? So I expect them to bounce back, but it'll be interesting to see now. But Haji Wright, yeah, I think he's been good for a few weeks now. I mean, what did he score? He scored 2 in a row, and then he had a couple of games where he didn't score, but he was getting in the right positions. He got dropped one game, didn't he? He dropped in for Sims one of the games. Yeah. And Sims was non-existent that game. Who was that? That was against Norwich, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was Norwich. Yeah.
He just didn't. They did well against us. To be fair, they were a good side under that new manager. But
Yeah.
Haji, right? I think that he's really good. He's been worth every single penny we paid for him, and I've just put £100 on him to finish top goal scorer. He's 2 behind Vapotnik, and he's 6-1. And I think we all know Haji right streaky, and let's just pray that he this time he can just streak for a bit longer.
We all love a good streak. So, obviously, Tom, you've declared Haji Wright your man of the match. Ben, your man of the match.
So I agree with Tom. I think you've got to give him it because of the hat trick. But my man of the match was Sakamoto. He didn't stop pressing all game, and I feel a bit sorry for him because of his work ethic. Every single week, we sort of just expect it from him. Oh, there we go, Sakamoto with another 8.5 this week. He was phenomenal, and he epitomised everything about last night because he was flying into he got a yellow card he never deserved in a million years. It was like I saw the replay later on, and it was like he slipped over, and he didn't deserve that yellow card. I thought he was phenomenal, and that little Maradona turn in the first half that created the goal. It was like you said, it was Haji Wright knocked it out to Sakamoto into Radoni. Then it was just brilliant. It was a great team goal, and
it reminded me of us at the start of the season. You know, that fluid football, that sexy.
They were brave,
football,
Tom. That's why they were
Yeah.
brave, and I feel like they've had a reset. And sometimes that's what you need at this stage of a season. You need some fresh faces to come in, and that's exactly what's happened. The level in training will probably have gone up. I mean, I think I saw an interview after with Lampard and said that everyone's been putting the foot in this week in training because they're going to be playing for the shirts now. SA probably came in thinking, I'll start every week, but he's not, because when you've got a little driven Japanese player in your team that's work ethic, he's like here, he's gonna want to fight for that shirt. And for me, Sakamoto was the man of the match.
Tom, okay, I was going to ask you the same question now. You exclude Haji Wright, exclude that hat trick. Who's your man of the match? Don't pop out and say Sakamoto unless you believe it. Come, because you got Onyeka up there as well. Although Bobby Thomas is phenomenal also as well. Who you give your man of the match to? This is the official.
They were all good, weren't they, Jay? They were all
good.
Night.
They were all good. For me, I just think because how much I've been on his back and the fan base have, I might give it to Radoni. And I know like Sakamoto was probably better, but I just think he deserves it because of how much stick he's getting, included from me as well. I'll hold my hands up. But I thought Radoni was, obviously they're not back to his best, but they're glimmers of his best. And I feel like he deserves man of the match. I mean, just for a confidence boost, really. I know he's not watching, but if you are Radoni, mate, you were phenomenal. So, yeah.
He's a big fan. That's pretty much the Boro game. We'll go into the West Brom game in a moment. Anything else you guys want to discuss about that game? Any sort of shout-outs you want to say? Mention the fans and want to mention anything at all about that Boro game?
Fans were amazing.
Yeah, I was completely the same as Ben there. I thought the CBS has been quiet at times this season, and we need the players needed the fans last night. I mean, Haji said in his post-match interview with, I think it was Sky or ITV, he said it's about the 12th man, and they were there last night. We were backing them the whole game, and that's what they need. And I thought the fans were phenomenal, brilliant.
As you know, Jay, I was really annoyed at the CBS after the game when I heard boos. I was really vexed by that. It really annoyed me. I thought, there's no way. Because I remember speaking to you last season and how well Sunderland were doing. And then there was stages where they were booing the players off. He was booing them off. And I was thinking, this young team that have got you in this position, and you're booing them off. And for our fans to do that was for me, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but it was very disappointing to me to hear that. And I thought, it'd just be us. It'd just be Cov all over for us to sort of get the players' backs up and think this down in tools and this big chance we've got going. But everyone was there. We believed. But what I will say is that the players gave us something to cheer for last night. They came out with the intensity, the work rate, and it's what you said earlier about the first tackle. It's true in football. You set your intentions early doors. You smash someone early doors. You get into them early on. You go, this is the CBS. Good luck. If you want to come here and win, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. So it set the tone, and it was brilliant. Every one of them deserves massive credit. But as I keep saying, we've got to go to West Brom and do the same thing.
Lovely. So West Brom, do we go with the same starting 11? Do we go with the same formation? Do you make any tweaks what would you do? Obviously, they're in a bit of a bad rut at the moment, bad form, especially with their new manager that comes in. Do you stay with the same formation, the 4-3-3? A lot of people say away from home nowadays, we should maybe go with the 3 at the back, wing backs, and so on. What would you do? Tom, first of all, what are you doing if you're Frank Lampard?
I would stick with what we played with last night. Personally, for me personally, I think you stick with what we did last night, and you play the same. Just go at them, because at the moment they are very fragile. I mean, I just think it's such a weird appointment from the MLS. I just don't back it at all, and it's proven to be a disaster so far. And I think they are so at the moment they are so fragile that if you just go for them, you can score 3 past them. But I don't want to get too carried away, because I know our record there is pretty shocking. Like, I've been there twice, and I'm going there on Saturday as well, and I've never seen us win there, and we don't play well there. So it would be very Cov, we like to call it, the Cov way, to go and beat Middlesbrough at home, then go to West Brom, who haven't won in like 6, and then get rolled over. But I'm believing. I do think we're going to win, but we have to be on it, because if they get an atmosphere behind them, you never know what might happen. But at the moment, they are very, very fragile, and it is very worrying that they could be going down.
Just looking at Eric Ramsey's results since being the West Brom manager, lost to Boro 3-2 at home, lost to Norwich 5-0 at home, drew 1-1 with Derby away. They lost 3-0 to Pompey away, 0-0 at Stoke at home. They drew 0-0 against Birmingham away, which Birmingham should have beat them. And then in the FA Cup, they lost 3-1 recently, 3-1 away from home as well. So not a good time there from Eric Ramsey at all. So based on that, Ben, Tom's obviously given his opinion on formation and stuff. It looks like they sort of play a bit of a sort of a 4-4-2 kind of formation at the moment. What are you doing? Are you sticking? Are you making any tweaks? What's your thinking there?
Well, obviously, they've got to look at the players. Is everyone fit? Is Efron fit? Because Efron's a week-to-week player. It seems like he needs to be assessed every single week at this point. But I'd go, if potentially we can, we go with the same team. And I think it's really important we just start fast and be brave. And it's like Tom says, if you let a team, no easy games in this league. If you let a team get the early goal, then you're sort of up against it early doors, and that's not what you want. I mean, you saw what the CBS did to Middlesbrough last night, and West Brom's it is a tough place to go, but we just need to be brave, strong, and that needs to be us from now until the end of the season.
Definitely. I think, as I said earlier, standard set, that is the standard that we play the game for. Obviously, starting 11, keeping it the same. We're playing the 4-3-3, keeping it the same, obviously subject to everyone being fit. I just wanted to draw your attention back to Birmingham away, where obviously we unfortunately lost. But the bench that day, Haji Wright, Kai Andrews, Ben Wilson, Callum Perry, Jake Bidwell, Joel Latibeaudiere, Luke Wolfenden, Miguel Brow, remember him, and Shepherd. Apparently he's got a broken rib, Brow, I heard. So yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was on the Sky Blue Fan TV when they had the meeting. So I'm sure even if his ribs were fine, he probably wouldn't be on the bench at all.
What's that, Jade? Say that again. Sorry, what's happened?
He's got a broken rib, apparently.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Broken rib, sorry. And then compare that to our bench last night. Josh Eccles, Romain Esse, Victor Torp, Ellis Sims, Marcello, Ben Wilson, Bidwell, Kitchen, Wolfenden. We have Kane Kessler-Hayden to come back, subject to fitness. We've got Brandon Thomas Sante to come back. We've got Min Hyung Yang to come back as well. Jamie Allen isn't there.
Oh, yeah, Jamie Allen as well.
My question to you is, you've got a squad of 25 players. Which 5 players is not in subject this? We've got everyone back. In theory, we've got everyone back. Which 5 players are not making the bench for you against West Brom? I'll give you a little. Obviously, Brow's injured.
Brow.
Easy one. Allen, I guess, when you've got Torp and...
Yeah, Allen.
Then you've got Yang, moving team out of favour. You've got Brandon Thomas Sante.
So I'm still really confused on why we've signed Yang. Like, nothing against him. I just don't see why we've done it. Yeah, maybe Yang. Jamie Allen is like you said. Kessler Hayden, if he's not fully fit. I don't know when he's actually due back. So maybe
he's been. Sorry to interrupt there. He was injured. He had that ankle injury. He came back on the bench for a game. I think it was Cooper. I'm going to say. Then he disappeared again. Then he was on the bench at Oxford again. Then he disappeared again last night.
He's gone again. Yeah, it's an odd one.
You just mentioned that. If you had the option of Kitchen, Wolfenden, Bidwell, and Kessler Hayden, let's say you pick the two centre back, would you have Bidwell there? You play left back and centre back, or would you rather have Kane, Kessler Hayden there who play left back, right back? What are you thinking? Obviously, Bidwell probably a little more defensively solid. Kessler Hayden maybe a bit more sort of tactically solid, even though he is a very good defender as well. That's to you, Tom, as well.
Yeah, to be fair, I would probably drop Bidwell for Kessler Hayden, to be fair. I've been saying it for a while, start Kessler Hayden on the left, but then again, I thought De Silva was great last night, so actually I don't think he deserves to be dropped now, which shows how fickle I am. But yeah, to be fair, Kessler Hayden over Bidwell for me. I mean, Bidwell's solid defensively, but going forward, not great. I feel like Kessler Hayden would be, he'd do more going forward. I mean, he was Preston's player of the season last season, so he's obviously good. I mean, I like Kessler Hayden. I think he's got bags of potential, and I really think we're going to see it. He just hasn't really had a chance to do it. But I think it was a bit of a panic buy because we thought we were selling Milan, maybe. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I do think Kessler Hayden will get his chance fully, and I think he deserves it because I do like the lad.
That's fine. So you've got Brow, Allen, Yang, Bidwell out. Who's your last player? I would suggest maybe a wing and maybe like a Markel.
Personally, I'd drop Asante for his stupid behaviour. That's what I'd do. I'd say, right, you can take this one out as well. That's what I'd do. I would.
To be fair, yeah. I'm not actually against that. I mean, he won't do that, I don't think, but I wouldn't be against that at all.
Yeah, I don't think he'll do that. Yeah, and it's like we're in a fight here. We're in a massive title challenge here, and you've done that. So what you can do is you can sit another game out because since you've arguably he's been a big part of the bad form. Since he got injured, which wasn't his fault, he's come back. We had a good performance, and then he's gone and got sent off.
Same with Bobby at Birmingham.
Pathetic and stupid.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've got bodies in there now, and obviously Markello is nowhere near match fit, but Lampard obviously likes what he's seeing because he's brought him on in that game yesterday. And to do that, he must trust him because Lampard it takes a lot of trust for him to bring a player in. I mean, look how long it's took him to. He still doesn't trust Eccles in the six. He won't do it. He refuses to play him in the six.
He would never do it. He won't do that.
Which it surprises me because I think that Eccles could do a job not as good as Onyeka, but I feel like he was the answer to that. If you just put Eccles in there alongside Grimes, it would have been okay.
But he never did it.
He sees things and he doesn't trust certain people.
He played Eccles against QPR in the six. So
did he?
I thought he did really, really well there, but he loves Eccles as a 10 because of his pressing and stuff. I don't mind that shout again about BTA because when Thomas got sent off against Birmingham, I said the exact same thing. I hope Wolfenden comes in, absolutely smashes it, and then Bobby had to sit on the bench for a couple of games. Obviously, he got dropped against Oxford, came back with a little extra jig in his step. But maybe the same thing will happen to BTA. So, again, same question to you, Ben. You had a little bit more time to think about it. Who are your 5 players that's not making the squad in that case? And also, you have to remember, BTA is playing against his old club. West Brom is his old club as well. So,
I think BTA will come in, but personally, I wouldn't do it. But I think Yang's going to be a real victim, unfortunately. I don't think he's going to make the squad. In regards to your Bidwell or KKH, I'd play KKH put him into the squad because he can play left back, right wing, and we're sort of struggling more in them areas for cover. So I feel like that'll be a natural selection. If he's fit, he'll be in the squad. There's no doubt about it. Plus, people need to take into account that the club have paid a lot of money for him. It's £3.5 million. Owners want the players that they pay money for in and around the squad. They just do. All the highest paid players. It's a thing in football. You'll see you could have a young player that's doing really well and he comes in and scores, but if an owner's paying 30 grand a week for a player, he's going to play. It's just the way it is in football, unfortunately. So yeah, who else? Brow won't be in the team, will he? I just do the exact same as what the winning squad was yesterday. That's what I'd do.
Maybe swap KK for
If he's fit. If he's fit.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's understandable. Yeah, I thought that would be a bit of an interesting one because again comparing that squad from only a month and a half ago from Birmingham to now, I think it's night and day how much depth we've got. Obviously, one of you guys touched upon it earlier. I think maybe barring Ipswich, probably the second best squad in the league. Would you be fair to say?
I'd agree. I mean, I saw a tweet last night. Did you see the tweets? A Millwall fan tweeted that they've got the best squad in the league bar Ipswich. I was like, I'm going to tag you in it later on.
Can't wait. They have Sam Barry banner in fairness, so I think a couple of them are a bit pissed off with him already.
Someone said he's just not interested at all. I saw a Millwall fan say he's just looked so I mean, it was against Sheffield Wednesday, to be fair. You know, he's been there, he was there for years. But yeah, a lot of Millwall fans saying he just looks so uninterested. So, but I think Bannon's a great player, to be fair. Always does well against us.
Always a case of players. But drawing it to a close now. Score, West Brom away. Got a terrible record at West Brom away, which, not the nice place for us to go. But just looking at our last couple of fixtures, the last 2 times we played actually at the CBS Arena, we won 3-2, won 2-0 last season. Last home game, last game at the Hawthorns, lost 2-1, so 2-0, lost 2-1. Then we lost 2-0 at our place, lost 1-0 at their place. We did win that prior match, 0-0 at their place, so on and so on. Even 5-2 in 2018, it seems as well, in the friendly. I actually remember that game, that friendly. Obviously, I haven't got a great record there. I keep asking Tom the questions first. I'm going to ask Ben the questions here first in this case. Score prediction.
I'm going to be completely brave, and I'm being honest. This is what I genuinely think. I think we're going to thump them 4-0.
Ooh.
Oh yes, please.
4-0. Just for the record, Ben does like a little flirt every now and then. He wins big, so maybe a little calm on that.
Ben 365.
Did you see I won 1,200 the other night on the game last night? Yeah.
Just for the record, guys, put your 4-0 bet on because Ben did put a £20 bet on Boro game and he won £1,000. So he does win a few of these.
Don't put 4-0 though.
Ben,
Bristol City 1, Wrexham 1, Charlton 0, Portsmouth 2 currently.
Ooh.
Okay. So 4-0 scorers. Let's push it a step further.
Haji right 2, Rodoni 1, Sakamoto 1.
Okay, a little bit what I'm going to say as well, but not as bold as you. Tom, what's your score prediction?
I think we're going to continue our winning streak against them at the moment. I think it's going to be a tight game. I would love to be like Ben here and say 4-0. I'm going to go for a tight 2-1. I think we score first. They equalise. Fans, 10 atmosphere. I think right towards the end, Haji right winner. And I think we win it 2-1. And then we're out of there. 2-1 win. That's what I think. 2-1 Cov.
I'm going to go for a clean sheet. I'm going to go 2-0. West Brom are struggling to score goals at the moment. Again, any other team with their form, I think we batter. But it's just West Brom being West Brom, and our record there is obviously not great. I don't think that plays anything at all with players at all, more of a fan thing. But I'm going to go Haji Wright and Jack Rodoni. So me and Ben are I'm halfway with Ben. He just got an extra Haji Wright and Sakamoto goal in there for us. But so I think all three of us are confident on a win there, which is great in that case as well. And I do feel after the performance against Boro, you need to go and back it up with a win and a good performance against West Brom as well. I think that game on Monday sort of perked a lot of people's ears up with Coventry. I think loads of people wrote us off in this last week. Media being going crazy about
humble pie.
Yeah. Again, there's a long way to go, guys. Let's not front for ourselves, for Boro, for Ipswich, for Hull, for Millwall. Long way to go. A lot of points to be won and lost in that period of time. No one's won anything. No one said we've won anything. No one said we're going to finish in the top 2. I say you got to score that place first and foremost. But hopefully that game has sort of perked up a lot of people back to Coventry. We're not sort of bottled it, and that's going to, as I've said as well yesterday, saying to our own fans especially, always back your team, always back your boys. Boys, I'm going to leave the final sort of comments to either one of you guys. Anyone want to say anything before we go?
I saw the second tier Knobcast wrote us off before the Middlesbrough game, so all the best to them for that as well. They're dying for us to fail.
Yeah, they are. They despise us. And also, I just want to say as well, thank you to the fans for turning up last night, because that's what they needed. And you gave them a great atmosphere and they turned up for you. You know, let's all go to West Brom at the weekend and back them. Let's just back them for 14 cup finals. Fingers crossed we can get it over the line.
And thanks to everyone for supporting us on the channel as well. It's appreciated.
Yes.
You know you are. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Obviously, as always, like, subscribe, especially comment. We'll reply back to your comments as well. Ben will reply to every single one of you guys if you put a little kiss to him at the end. In that case, and I do say, like the guys say, back the boys. And for the next 14 games. In that case, hopefully we go to West Brom, bring home the 3 points, and we'll see you guys next week. Play up Sky Blues.
Play up Sky Blues. See you later, lads.